I'm Ian Rush and you're watching the Redmen TV.
Excuse me, okay, we're going to move on. If you join us on YouTube, welcome. This is the Uncensored Match Build Show. I have with me, of course, Simon Hughes, who's got a brand new book that's just come out, Red Machine. If you want to show it to Tay there, it's fantastic. Do you know who's done the cover art for it?
It's somebody from the publishing company, but I did contribute ideas towards that.
Yeah?
Yes.
Oh, I must admit it is very cool. Like.
Yeah, thanks, yeah. I don't think that image is being used on many things before. I haven't really seen it, but you used all different colours.
I'm trying to get that close up for us. Yeah, definitely. Get as much product placement in as we possibly can. Obviously, it's a lot of player stories from the 80s, isn't it? Which is the overriding sort of crux of it. You've got, I started reading. You've got the likes of Bruce Grobbelaar and stuff in there. What was the inspiration for you to start making the book, basically?
Well, I wrote another book, Secret Diary of Liverpool Scout, in 2009. I was published, and one of the kinds of the frustrations, if you like, of that book was I couldn't get out and interview all the people that I wanted to interview. It was more, a lot of the interviews were done on the phone, and I think it maybe showed, in the book a little bit that there wasn't that personal touch. And I read a couple of books which are similar about other clubs. I won't mention which clubs, but they were quite on two strikes. Yeah. That's exactly So and I just thought, it's good to go out and speak to people face to face. Old-fashioned kind of journalism, over a few pints or a lot of drinks in some of the cases. And sometimes it's amazing what people tell you when you've had a drink. But that was the idea, really. Just to chat to them about their careers. It's not really about Liverpool as such. It's more about their personal journey. From the very beginning. From childhood to retirement and where they are now. So it's not really the story of Liverpool in the 1980s. It's the players' stories in the 1980s. It's something that I kind of felt a little bit personal with as well, because I do a lot of interviews for Liverpool's magazine, and sometimes there's only so much you can say.
Well, we've seen. We've been privy to it to a certain extent. You interview a modern professional. It's all the media training, isn't it? And there's certain things they're not allowed to say, and they do come across as very sort of, but bland, aren't they? Most player interviews. Whereas I think you actually mentioned it in the book as well, isn't it? That it's great to be able to speak to the older players because they are a bit more free to talk about the in-depth things and all the daft things that happened at the time. Well,
they speak quite a lot about the insecurities and stuff like that, which you obviously just don't get. With some of the younger players now, they sometimes present themselves as they want to take on the world. They're invulnerable, absolutely. But then you've got some books now, I think football autobiographies, if you like, they fall into two categories, don't they? Like your sanitised pro, who's just trying to make a load of money out of it, and then you got your opposite to that, where it's just a trip down, memory lane in terms of drinking, booze and all that. It's got a bit of that in this, but I just kind of felt there must be something else that you can write about, rather than just talking about those two things, which the majority of football books, I think, of this kind anyway, focus on.
Yeah. So, what if you're going to tell people watching at home, give them one standout example of an anecdotal story that you thought was absolutely brilliant at getting hold of that?
Well, it wasn't necessarily a story, but an experience. Going out to see Michael Robinson just fascinates me. He's a bit, he's like an old British eccentric, if you like, living in Spain, and over there, he's as big as any of the national team, the Spanish national team that won the World Cup. He walks down the street, he's getting mobbed by people, he's like a hero. People absolutely love him. I just found that just bizarre, to be honest, because in Liverpool, like, he admits in the book that he didn't really fit in there and nobody really recognises him and stuff, but over there he's just absolutely a megastar. He's like their Parkinson interviewing. He really is. Like, he's interviewed all politicians, movie stars, famous sports people. He's just huge over there, and I just enjoy going to see him, and he is quite good company as well, in terms of, went out there and spent the whole afternoon, evening and whatnot with him, and very generous with his time and money as well, which was good, so I just really enjoyed that, and I think it shows maybe in the interview as well, perhaps, because he's in the media, he knows kind of what you're after, you're not having to extract information. It was the easiest interview that I'd done, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I'd say maybe him as a general one you know, as a general answer to that question.
Quality show, the book's out now.
Yeah, it came out last week. So
And you can get it. Where's the easiest place to get hold of it?
Well, just on Amazon. You know, I suppose you can get it anywhere. It's in Waterstones. If you
did a book signing the other day, didn't you? What was that like?
It was good. Yeah, it was good. 120 odd people, I'd say, but they were all there because even though Jamie Carragher's not involved in the book, really, I don't think he's mentioned once, but kind of, I just asked him to come to sign some books just so get people through the door because they're not going to come and see me, are they? So, it was good. Just any publicity helps, just because at the moment the book market's ridiculously competitive. You know, there's so many Liverpool books, and then you know.
But none of this calibre.
Yeah, well, thank you. And then you've got Fergie as well doing his book, which comes out.
There you go. You've got to choose the two biggest sports books that have come out in the last fortnight. Red Machine, far and away, than some bitter old drunken Scot.
You said that.
My words, yeah. So get it. Obviously, you can get it from Waterstones or Amazon. Do check it out. It's from what I've read of it so far, it's well good. And Steven Gerrard's introduction,
it's brilliant,
incredibly verbose for a Premier League footballer.
Yeah. No, well, to be fair to Steven, he is one of the more thoughtful modern footballers. You know, he does think. I think there's an impression that maybe he doesn't think about the game so much, but he really does. You know, he's quite thoughtful and sees the bigger picture, I think.
Quality. Okay, well, as I say, do pick up a copy of the book. We're going to move on now, of course. As you well know, we're playing West Brom at the weekend. This is the reason you're all here. You want to hear what we want to talk about that. Let's start talking about West Brom then, Chris. Steve Clarke. I mean, we've talked about this not too long ago. I think at the time, we never really grew a great attachment to him at Liverpool. And to be honest, when he moved on, I wasn't it never entered my head, Steve Clarke's going to go on to be a good manager. But he's done a fantastic job at West Brom so far.
He has, yeah, and he's well loved with coaches in the game, isn't he, I think. He's doing a good job at West Brom. They're a difficult team to beat, aren't they? I think the first sort of 6 months that he was at Liverpool, I thought our defence was getting better. I think it tailed off a little bit towards the end with him, but there was definitely a marked improvement from the season before. He's definitely put that in to West Bromwich Albion, and I think he was a little bit unlucky with not getting Lukaku back this season. Because he's obviously got an eye for a player, you know what I mean, and he can do a deal with Mourinho. I think Everton was a shrewd move, wasn't it, getting Lukaku? But he's tried to sign. Is it Anachabi?
It's successful.
Yeah, and you're like, it's a
I think every single one of us, we were sat here on deadline day doing the live stream, and it was like, they've not got Lukaku, and they've signed Anachabi, and everyone went, relegated. Fucked West Brom, aren't they? No one thought that was a decent move at all, but it's almost like, in some respects, with Anachabi and the Nelke, they've replaced Lukaku with two players to a certain extent, if you get what I mean. Between, if you combine them, you'd have all the attributes of Lukaku.
Yeah, I was one of the ones who was sitting here scoffing when we were analysing the deadline deal, saying West Brom, I think, are going to struggle. Actually, talking to my mate who's a Wolves fan, but obviously lives in the area, and so actually they've got decent attacking talent because they got Sessegnon in as well. So, and then Long is not bad; he does his job in there. So that's Anelka and Anachabi, them two, and this, I don't know how to say his name, I'm not even going to hazard it before Chris rips the shit out of me.
Which one?
The teenager who scored it.
Berry.
Yes, that one.
Chuck Berry, I don't know.
Yeah, Chuck Berry. And they've got Chuck Berry up front, reborn. But, and he's actually come through, and he's someone that no one knew. And I've been impressed with Alma Furtado.
Yeah. That was more difficult, that.
I don't know the other guy's name. What is his name?
Berahino, isn't it?
Berahino.
Yeah.
Benny Hanna. But yeah, Alma Furtado's come in, so they've actually got these options, and I think he's built on a solid base of what they had last year, and then you've added a few flair players in Sessegnon and Alma Furtado. They're not easy to beat, and then you can score a goal, which is always a good thing. It's kind of what we were saying before, which is we don't score.
They don't concede many. They can score some goals.
Yeah.
Good,
it's not bad. But we were saying about us before, we're conceding too many and we're not scoring enough. By rights we should be shit then, shouldn't we? But they're actually in a decent position. I think that I was completely wrong at the very beginning of the year when I thought they would really struggle. I think they're going to be mid-table, maybe a little bit higher than that.
What do you think, Sam? Do you think they can achieve similar to what they did last season? Can they go further, or would you expect them to tail off a little bit more this time?
I think they can do better, actually. I mean, the one thing about West Brom is that they're a nasty team. You know, they've got two centre halves. Olsen, who's just you know, he's like
he's a Stoke centre back and waiting him, isn't he?
He's a medieval jailer, like just you know what I mean? That's what he's like. But, you know, they got the two centre halves. They signed Lugano as well, who's got. I mean, some of the stuff I've seen him do over the years. I mean, they obviously he knows his centre halves and he knows what he wants. Macaulay, you know, he's really kind of taken to the Premier League, which you never would have thought a few years ago playing in the Championship. But you know, and then in front of that, they've got two really good midfield. I think Jakob, you know, is probably one of the most underrated players in the Premier League now. And then the other fella, Malumbu, as well, is another one who, you know, we're talking about. I mean, I think he can do more than, you know, break up the play. But for me, not recommending re-signing, but he's that kind of ilk, you know.
Yeah.
He's a good player. And then further ahead, you know, we talked about all the forwards and the attacking players. You know, I think the thing that I like about West Brom is they sign players for footballing reasons. You know, what will enhance the squad. You know, kinds of football clubs at the moment, they fall into like these categories of let's sign all the best young players that we can, and you know, or let's just try and make sure that we stay off relegation. But they seem to really kind of want to progress. You know, they sign players for the first year or couple of years that's going to enhance the team. And you know, I think out of all the teams, you know, we're mentioning before, I think Southampton, of course, you know, they got the setup, but I think West Brom maybe just behind Southampton are the other ones that are pushing higher. So it's going to be another difficult game. I think
it's another one for me. I say the chance to potentially see Nicholas and Alcott again. For me, one of the most disappointing transfer. Well, it wasn't even a saga, was it? It was just a huge disappointment as we decided we got rid of Fowler. Bit upset, to say the very least. Get an Alcott in, make ourselves feel a little bit better. Are we going to keep him? Are we going to keep him? No, we're going to have Elijah Diouf wearing number 9 instead. So yeah, no, it's
dark days, my
dark. Very dark days. It's a shame, isn't it? Because you wonder what we could have achieved if he'd stayed at Liverpool all those years.
I don't think he would have stayed at Liverpool all those years, unfortunately.
You don't think?
No, I don't think so. I'd love to think that he did, but I don't.
No.
I'm so sorry.
How many clubs has he had since Liverpool?
75.
No, 77.
That's a great question, actually. That's the funny answer to that. No, it's amazing, isn't it? Because he is nomadic, is the nice way of putting it. Mercenary? Is that another way to put it? No,
he's mercenary.
What do you mean he's not mercenary? He's moved.
I don't know. He could probably earn more money staying at Liverpool or something, couldn't he, than going off where he did? Like,
he probably, yeah.
He stayed a while at Bolton, didn't he?
Yeah, but did he? He went to. Was it China he went over to?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bit mercenary.
What's the best he finished his career in Qatar?
Yeah, not $1 million in 4 weeks, didn't he? In China and came back.
He was the manager.
He was Tigana, wasn't it? Was it Tigana take him over there? Isn't he? I think.
And then Anelka became the manager.
Yeah.
But no, it's a great chip. If you're a big Nicholas Anelka fan, let me know. How good would Nicholas Anelka have been if he'd stayed at Liverpool? Just let your fantasies run wild and then, you know, blurt them out in the comment section underneath. Not really like
2 words you don't want to put in.
Right, we're going to have a little musical interlude. Fantastic two-piece act. Path Unknown. Yeah, Path. So good. The name's right on the top of me. Yeah, Path Unknown. Check this out.
Hi, we're Path Unknown. This is Sit and Wonder. There's nothing left to say. You sit and wonder with, and let's just say we can know now how it's going to be. Yeah, 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 yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
sit and wonder, wait, and let's just say we can't know now how it's going to be. Top quality as always, and if you want to have your band Path Unknown, if you're a musician, we've been asked if we can mix it up as opposed to just like Indian guitar bass acts. Look, if you're a rapper or you're a dance, if you're a DJ who does dance music or something, well, then we don't want you. Can't take that. But no, if you want to come on and play music on Redmen TV, let me know. Email interact@redmentv.com. Okay, let's talk about Liverpool. Chris, does Rodgers have something to prove in this game given our struggles against West Brom last season?
Definitely, yeah. He needs to prove that he can turn that around. It was both games were really poor last season against them, weren't we?
Yeah.
The way that we played against them the second time, if I remember correctly, we played all right. We just got hit on the break 3 times.
Clarke to death.
I think he needs to. I think he has grown as a manager since then anyway, but I think now he needs to go out there and say, look, they're going to probably attack us the same way because they think that that's our weakness, and he needs to put a plan in place that assures us
7
points.
Anelka's had 7 clubs.
See, how can you come back with an answer for that? Yeah, every week you forget about the question answer.
That was
a
the
trivia
most
question you forget about. A trivial question you've got the answer for.
Yeah.
Forgot the trivia question this week. Dave, do you remember what the trivia question was? You wrote it, man. Come on.
It was something
No,
about...
No, never mind.
How many goals cumulatively have
it's
Liverpool
not
and West
what I
Brom
remember.
scored in the Premier League? And what was the final score or something like that?
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Yeah, because that, everyone just...
Do you remember, there's no
common
point. You didn't remember the question. You ain't going to remember the answer.
Oh, I do remember the answer.
You remember the answer, but you can't.
Right, we're
remember
going to
the
give you an
Yeah,
answer to a question, and you've got to work out the question this
It's
week.
like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. What's the answer to the ultimate question? Yeah, you know the answer, but you don't know what the question is. Yeah, excellent. Oh, well.
Oh, Dave, give us the answer, and we'll give you the question at the end of the show.
No, shut up. Right, fuck that then. Never mind. Trivia question. Tune in for a trivia question next week. We did actually do the answer to the trivia question. I got loads of stick last week for not doing the answer to the trivia question, which I have been known to forget periodically.
He's made up this bullshit excuse about sound issues.
I did actually give the answer to the trivia question, then we had massive microphone issues, so we had to ditch it. But yeah, go on.
So how many goals on aggregate of there been between Liverpool and West Brom in the Premier League?
How many goals on aggregate have there been
I don't
between
even understand the
Liverpool
question.
and West Brom in the Premier League? So
All the goals were grouped into one game. What would the score be?
Yeah.
total aggregate score.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the aggregate overall score of all Liverpool West Brom Premier League games? Answer at the end of the show.
Or just Google it now.
Did you have to add it up?
What?
Did you do? Is it a Googleable answer, or did you have to do some fast math? Like?
No, it's Googleable.
Oh well, fucking don't tell them that.
Don't ask him then.
You could lie to me. Lie to me.
No, I agree, Aubrey. Don't ask him. Stupid question.
Yeah, just Google that for us. So you know the answer?
It's on.
Yes. Do good. Where have we gone with this? Yeah, I mean, Simon, obviously the season started so badly last year, and West Brom, we had such high hopes, such great optimism, and they basically snuffed that out very early on. And as mentioned, we got Clarke at Anfield. Given particularly that Steve Clarke had such great sort of inside knowledge of the club, do you think we've now reached the point where it's now Brendan Rodgers' team, and any maybe insight that Clarke might have had into us, this is the time that it shouldn't count anymore?
Yeah, I think it is a completely different kind of setup with all the coaching staff. Everything's different. I mean, obviously, you had a better understanding of the players.
Better people working on the magazine.
That's debatable. But I forgot where I was now. But let's not forget Liverpool did beat West Brom as well last year in the League Cup, which was, I know it was 2 totally different teams. But I just think West Brom are a threat to any. You take West Brom lightly, and they will do something against you because, as I said before, they're quite a robust team, not afraid of anybody. If you give them any space from free kicks, corners, Liverpool's great strength, of course.
Yeah.
You know, could have some problems which Liverpool found last season. You know, I don't think Liverpool didn't play that great at Anfield, I remember, but they still had enough opportunities to possibly win the game, miss the penalty and that. So it's just a case, if you play well, you probably beat them, but if you don't, they're one of those teams that will, you know, they'll trip you up, I think.
Yeah.
What was the result of the weekend? West Brom.
No, Stoke. I mean, that's a typical kind of
West Brom Stoke result.
Yeah.
But like before the international break, they drew at home with Arsenal. Like, so they stopped the juggernaut that is Ozil and Ramsey, you know what I mean? And then it was Jakob and Mullen who were brilliant that game. And then before that, they went to Old Trafford and won. So they're actually doing...
So basically, prepare yourselves.
You've got the dark horse team of the week for the show coming up. And I was unfortunate. It could be West Brom. You know, it's going to be a tough game, and we don't really, like the Southampton one being an example of it. Under Rodgers, that's the game we struggle in. You know, that type of team coming to Anfield. The big boys, even if we didn't get the results, we haven't played.
You always have bogey teams, and you always have bogey managers, don't you?
Yeah.
It's been Sam Allardyce for Rafa for years, wasn't it? You know what I mean? And we had various other ones. Could potentially be Clarke. You know, let's
the one thing I'd hope is we pull out, even if it's not a performance, the result that we did of Stoke, the other bogey team, you know, opening day of the season. If we can just get back to a 1-0 win, I'd be happy.
The one thing with Clarke is, you know, is as a defender, like as he was throughout his career, he knows how to set up a defence, and they're very difficult to break down. Probably one of the most difficult in that group. You know, below the top, maybe 6 or 7. I think you've got to work really hard to break them down. In both the home match and the away match, Liverpool didn't create that many chances really against them. I've covered them a few times, and you don't get any time, you know, to build up on momentum against them, because they got all those grafters in midfield, they're strong at the back, that, you know, they're quick and mobile up front, so you can't really settle against them. So
it sounds silly. They're one of those teams you need to get an early goal so you can come out of that.
Exactly.
You need to get that early goal because they get more confidence the longer the game goes on as well.
Yeah, definitely.
That didn't sound
you were like that under Hodgson as well, though, weren't he, to a certain extent? You know, they kind of, you know, based on strong defensive qualities.
Hodgson. That's almost 36. Okay, is it time, Chris, for us to change formation? Now, a lot of people have been going on me about this, and we've already mentioned earlier this evening about that. You know, we should stick with 3 at the back, and just so we get it spot on. But we did look pretty good when we went back to 4 at the back, albeit like with 10 minutes to go against a 10-man side last week.
Yeah, I don't think you can judge too much on that. I do think that, you know, if Coutinho's going to return, it's a tough question, because I don't think it's actually the right game for Coutinho because of the players that we've talked about before. I think they'll know how to do a number on him.
Yeah, hire Coutinho, welcome back to the Premier League. Bang!
Exactly. But then equally, on the flip side of that, is they're a hard team to break down. You need your fucking keymaster in there, don't you? Like, do you know what I mean?
He made his debut, didn't he, against West Brom last year? Came on that cold night, and I was thinking, you know, he's not going to last here. To go, you know, I was sceptical. He just looked like a little boy running on the pitch, didn't he? Especially against them, you know, big players. What's
this ball boy doing, taking a throw in?
Exactly. So, not a concern that, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Let us know your thoughts at home. Do you think Liverpool should go back to 4-3-3 or thereabouts, or is 3-5-2 what we need to persist with until we get it right? You know, is this the kind of formation that's totally and utterly built for Philip Coutinho to just step into the 10 and just be amazing? I'm getting some shaking heads from Jack. You write that in the blog. Let us know in the comments section underneath. Okay, let's have some score predictions then. Simon, we'll start with you. How do you think this one's going to go down?
1-0 Liverpool.
Okay, Aubrey?
Yeah, I'll go 1-0 Liverpool.
1-0 Liverpool.
It's like, alright, I'm going to have to spice things up, aren't I? 6-3. Yeah, no, oh Christ. Let's just say 3-1 to Liverpool.
What you genuinely think it's going to be?
I've genuinely absolutely no idea how this game is going to go down. I'm normally happy to throw a score out quite confidently, whether it's right or not. Like, but in this one, no, I really don't know what to expect, and it's just because of this thing of I want to say this is the game where we're going to turn it on, but I said that about Palace. I thought Palace was the game where we were absolutely guaranteed, nailed on to just turn on the free-flowing football and absolutely murder them. But as you said, West Brom are not necessarily an easy team to beat. I think if we get the early goal, it could be a high-scoring game, but equally it could be another one of those really horrible games where the knobhead that sits behind you is never louder than in games like this. So yeah, let us know. Anyway, let us know your score predictions in the comments section. We're going to wrap up that for now. On tomorrow night's show, we're going to be the Red News Roundup. We're going to talk about Lucas Baby number 2, because why not? Because we've turned into loose women on the show. Andrew Wisdom's loan move to Derby County, whether Alan can do a job at the 10. Should we bought cover for Coutinho, and what is our best formation? And then the Friday football show, we're talking about all the other Premier League stuff. So do check that out. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and good night. Ta-ra.